that he grinded with, obviously. But to me, it's just another regular season game in November. Obviously, there's bigger implications with the NBA Cup. So that's what's on our mind, in my mind, is just to win that, because I haven't been a part of it yet. I know it's young, but fun to play for that title.
So Klay says it's just another game. You were there, though, Mr. Spears.
Yeah.
Is that what you were hearing?
You know, you got that friend that said, man, I ain't tripping. Man, I'm good. That's Klay right now. He ain't tripping. He good, but he not. I felt like he's holding a lot of stuff in.
Yeah.
He said that this chapter is over. That it's not a big game. He's moving on. He told me there's no point in looking back. I asked him, hey, have you talked to Draymond? Have you talked to Steph? No. I'll see him at the game. So I think there's a lot of hurt feelings. Klay's probably too tough a guy to let it out, especially now. Maybe this game is coming too early. But yeah, I think he's gonna, his reaction that whole game tomorrow is gonna be very, very curious.
I mean, his eyes, his face, his demeanor, that was telling a different story than what he was saying.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you saw he had a mean mug on, his eyes were down, he was almost speaking it into existence. But the truth is, both sides were ready to move on. I think the Warriors were ready to move on, Klay was ready to move on, needed that fresh start. I remember doing a story when he left as a free agent, and Joe Lacob took him to play golf, out here in LA, and this was kind of maybe the last dance of the owner showing him, hey, I care enough about you to take you to play golf. They had 18 holes to talk about his free agency and extending there. And they didn't talk about it at all. They just played golf. And that was kind of all that needed to be said, which was not said. They were done. Both sides were done.
Real quick, I asked him, what's the thing you miss about the most in the Bay? He said the ocean.
Yeah. Well, then maybe it's fitting that Golden State is doing the salute to Captain Klay and giving everybody their hats to salute to Captain Klay.
He's not even going to drive his boat to the game.
I hope it's cathartic for him, because just because you're ready for a breakup to happen, it doesn't mean it isn't hard to go and face it when it does. And that's something that I think all of us have to have a little bit of empathy for as he's going through this. It's going to be a huge game in the Bay on Tuesday. Still to come is hosting the Austin Reeves, full outlet pass to LeBron, who lays it in. The Lakers go on to win 123-101. Back-to-back triple-doubles for LeBron. Here he is on putting in the time this season.
I've been blessed by the man above with some out of this world ability from the beginning, and then I just took full advantage of it, and I wasn't going to disrespect what he's given me, and let's see how long I can do it. But I won't do it till the wheels fall off. I tell you that. I won't do that. I won't be one of those guys. Appreciate it.
Well, in these last two Lakers wins, LeBron became the oldest player in NBA history with consecutive triple-doubles. Of course, he's just over a month away from turning 40. But the other storyline we're following coming out of this one is the health of Anthony Davis with that poke to the eye. So Shams is back here with us now. Shams, what more can you tell us about the extent of this injury?
Malik, I'm told Anthony Davis is actually walking into a doctor's exam as we speak, as far as to evaluate that eye of his. This is the same eye that he had an issue with last season, but there is some hope that this is not a major issue, that this is a precautionary visit to the doctor, and who knows, could goggles some sort of eye protection be in Anthony Davis's future, that obviously is a question. I'm told there's a chance he could have returned to the game last night, just depending on the circumstances. But obviously the Lakers went on a little bit of a run there, and now Anthony Davis is getting an exam as we speak.
Yeah, he had that corneal abrasion, as you mentioned, in the same eye last March. So keeping an eye on this one, if you will. I didn't even mean for that
I see what you did.
Shams, though, while we have you here, unfortunately, there were a rash of injuries these past couple of days. So I'd love to get a couple of updates from you if we could. And let's start with Zion Williamson here. What is his status?
Zion Williamson will be out for several weeks, I'm told. This is an injury that Pelicans are bracing for him to be out about 4 to 6 weeks. And his return will be based on rehab and how that treatment goes on that hamstring strain. We know the Pelicans with Zion Williamson, they said indefinitely. We know that they are not sure yet exactly how long this rehab is going to take for him. And this is devastating for a Pelicans team that's been ravaged by injuries all season. And Zion Williamson himself, he was the lightest he's ever been in his career. He's been playing well this season, and this is a devastating injury so early in the year for him. He's played in under 50% of NBA games since being overall in 2019.
Yeah, that's just a bummer for Pelicans fans. A couple of weeks here still for Zion Williamson. How about the Suns, though? They played without Kevin Durant last night in Sacramento. When are the Suns expecting his return?
Left calf strain, the same calf that he also injured over the offseason for USA Basketball. I'm told the Suns are expecting this to be a 2 to 3 week injury for Kevin Durant. It could be longer, just depends on how his rehab goes, how he's feeling. They're not going to rush him back. This is an injury they're going to be cautious with. He's going to do due diligence in rehab, take his time. He led this team to an 8-1 start before the injury, first place in the Western Conference. He's been on an MVP caliber start to the season. So he's on the shelf now for at least the next couple weeks.
Okay, 2 to 3 weeks here at least for Kevin Durant. Shams, thank you so much for stopping by with those updates. Let's time now to go coast to coast around the association. First stop. How about with the Sacramento Kings? Because DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox combined for 16 points in overtime to beat the aforementioned Suns. It was the first loss for Phoenix in clutch time this season. Mark, what is this Suns team without Kevin Durant?
In trouble. Bradley Beal's picking it up, though. I feel bad for Kevin because he has such an amazing start, MVP caliber start, and it's a long season, though. He'll be back.
Yep, it is a long season. The Phoenix Suns, they face the Utah Jazz tomorrow in the NBA Cup. Next up, the Grizzlies. They've won their last 2 games without John Morant, Zach Edey coming off the bench. Ramona, should we be excited? Should we temper expectations? How should we feel about Memphis?
I think you should be really excited about Memphis because they've redefined their offensive identity. 60 points in the paint a game. That's first in the NBA. 30 assists a game. That's second in the NBA. They're rolling, they're running here. And I think this continues with or without John Morant for a little while. They need him back eventually.
Absolutely. All right. Finally, Tyrese Halliburton and Benedict Mathurin combined for 73 points in a Pacers victory over the Knicks. David, are the Pacers starting to turn the corner to be a threat in the East?
I think so. I think they can cause a few headaches for some of these teams. There's a lot of talk about how they got to the Eastern Conference Finals and the injury luck that got them there. But there's something to be said about the experience of going that far in the playoff to outscore the Knicks by 13 points in that fourth quarter and really rally in the last 5 minutes. They did the same thing to keep the lead against the Celtics last week. This team is tested in these clutch moments.
Well, the Knicks bench, they've scored the fewest points and played the fewest minutes per game this season by a wide margin.
Yeah.
They scored almost 4 fewer points than any other team, about 3 times fewer, by the way, than the Golden State Warriors, if you're putting that in perspective. The Knicks, they've used the same starting 5 every game this season, and they're still under 500. So, Mark, stop me if you've heard me ask this before. Is this Tom Thibodeau-led team playing its starters too many minutes?
I have heard that before.
Yeah, maybe a couple times.
Yeah. He has to.
It sounds like a butt's coming.
Yeah. But New York, calm down.
Okay.
It's early. There's just been so many changes with this roster that I think you got to give them some time. This ain't the NFL. Relax.
Okay.
They'll be all right.
You know what? There's something comforting about when Mr. Spears says relax.
That's right.
I'm going to just relax.
Thank you for watching so far.
Exactly.
Leave your
All
comment
right, we got a
below.
lot to get to on
and
our
don't
jam-packed
forget to
show here. Coming
subscribe
up
so you don't miss any detail. A hug and see you next time.